Welcome to Lashback, everyone. I'm Natalyan.
And I'm Phoebe. And today we are talking about online businesses and the fact that there seems to be so many new ventures.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just kind of put in a search online to say, online business venture influx, because it just seems to be an influx, a new thing, a new trend, a new wave on social media. And it says the rise of social media has led to an influx of individuals and mentors offering business opportunities, often with the promises of easy riches. But it's crucial to approach these opportunities with caution and through research to avoid scams or unsustainable ventures. And I definitely agree with that.
It is scam season, isn't it? I mean, there are scams everywhere. And also, knowledge, this whole thing around knowledge businesses, create an online course and teach people what you know. Although interestingly, with AI, knowledge is soon completely free. So those lawyers, I don't know if
Sort
they're going to
of.
make their money yet.
Sort of. I don't completely agree with that. But I
Yeah.
think that there's definitely that knowledge bit. I think you've hit the nail on the head. And, I've been doing some research on this and looking at different opportunities from real estate opportunities, bookkeeping, and so forth. And what I've definitely found is that there's so many people out there that are looking for a new career, a new way of earning income, that are desperate, that maybe
Extra
are not
income.
desperate, yeah, extra income, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of vulnerable people out there as well. And I urge these people to be really careful because most of them are free courses. And then by the end, I've done a few this week, and there are definitely real ones out there. So I'm not saying there's not. But I also don't understand why, if you do a free course for the week, a couple hours a day, which is a lot of hours, and then you join their mentorship program for 12 months and get access to their materials, which I completely understand you should earn from that. But I've seen ones at 5 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand and above. And for
Wow.
me, and I've seen in these groups that at least 100 people just from me scrolling have joined. Do the math on that. And I just don't think I could do that. Because you and me at some point, we have skills that we might offer through our website when we pull that together and our socials because we
Well,
have
I
a lot of
mean,
expertise. But
anyone could, our YouTube here has got our contact details, and anyone could book us if they wanted to for the things that we offer. But I don't, lashback course, 55 grand a year.
yeah,
Why?
I'm really worried for people because I've nearly been bought, and I'm a very, very, I
Discerning.
consider myself a very, very research heavy, due diligence, intelligent human. But honestly, I've nearly bitten a few times. And I worry about it. I really worry about it because it's not, I've done my research, and it's also difficult to do research because no matter what the company is, there's bad reviews, and sometimes their reviews, you're always going to have bad reviews. So it's very hard to understand. And I just think that if I was offering something, if we start to offer something, that you have a more reasonable approach to that so that you can prove your worth throughout that course. So you don't ask for 20 grand and you have to pay that 20 grand by Sunday at midnight. Otherwise, it's only for the first 50. And then they do the same thing the next week.
I mean, that's the rule with all scams, actually. If they say you've only got this amount of time to pay, that should be a cause for suspicion. And all kind of cybersecurity things. If there's do it now to get the offer, why? That
Yeah.
that is normally they're playing on the psychology of needing to get in quick to get to not miss out,
Yeah.
which does prey on the vulnerable.
It does.
And actually, if it's a great offer and you've got a legitimate business and you've got a legitimate offer, if somebody needs 2 weeks to think about it, that shouldn't worry you.
I think that's key here. And, we really wanted to do this episode. We are by no means experts in this, but we've done some research. We've gone through some of the motions, and some tips are definitely around if they're asking for that period of time or they're minimizing the period of time and enforcing you to make those decisions, then one, it could be a scam. Two, it's a bit unethical, quite frankly. And the amount of money these people are making is insane. There was a real estate one that I've been looking. I've been looking at a number actually, so no names mentioned. And I'm not sure on one particular one whether it's real or not. I feel like it's real in the sense that, I mean, they're so motivational in there. I mean, it definitely built me up for the week when I was watching
Promising you the earth, really.
it really made me feel good and like me, right? But they want 20 grand. Another one wanted, 9 grand, and you had to do it obviously straight away. And when I did a lot of research, they're pushing you, it's real estate, to invest and take it out of your retirement fund and make a deal within 30 days. And there's so many complaints about one of these companies, and there's so many people doing it that are taking money that they don't have and doing that. And if you're that real, I understand it's a big network of people, and networks and mentors are a big thing, but I feel like these scams are ruining what a mentor should be, because a mentor shouldn't be 20, 30, 40, 50 grand up front. Fine if you're £100 a week, a month, or dollars a month, and you can stop at any time. And you will still get the same money.
That's ethical. Like, I've done something before that I found a good one. I found very, very insightful. It was a weekly Zoom talking about music, and it was something like $80 a month, leave at any time. And, the guy that's running that totally knew what he was talking about and was very kind of happy-go-lucky, easy. If you want to totally understand that you might not always have the money, you'll get what you get by coming, and every time is great, and what I'm offering is true and valid, and pay monthly and leave whenever you want to. I mean, that for me is
great.
You don't go into a shop, do you? And or you go to the shop and buy a product, or I don't know, go to the osteopath or to a therapist, and you might do bulk buy to save some money, and that's good for their income, but it's it's actually tied to a tangible thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay for 4 sessions up front because it saves me 10%, and here are the 4 sessions in my diary. Or I'm going to go buy this thing in the sale, and I'm going to walk out of the shop with it. And this online venture brings in all of this other possibilities. Like, I really hate those videos that you watch, and you watch the video and it's kind of free information, and then you have to scroll down 100 things, and they're offering you the thing and a discount now, and add the license, add the thing, and I'm like, I've seen so many of those, and it's the same software. They're using the same software.
They're all using the same software.
The same buttons.
Yeah, they're all using the same software. And just to add to that as well is that, just to go back on one of your points about paying monthly and knowing what you're getting, with these different opportunities that I've been looking at, they're asking you to pay significant amount of money, without 5 grand, 10 grand, 20, without seeing what they're telling you on a PowerPoint presentation you're going to get. And when I've done a lot of research, they're like, I could have got this material online, which you probably could, but I get the mentor thing. That's definitely in the network. I get that, people shouldn't be doing that for free. It's their business. I get that. But no one
TV.
Yeah, but not even that though, because I think you can have motivational people, which it's worth going to. But having to pay everything up front without seeing it is unethical and shouldn't be allowed.
No refund policy.
Yeah, and you're not getting your money back even if you wanted.
Yeah.
I've seen so many reviews. I've gone to like the Better Business Bureau of complaints where people have said, I even had 3 days to change my mind, but they didn't give me access, because it says if you're not happy within 3 days, then you can get your money back. But they didn't give them access for over, I think it was 5 days. So you can't even check the product out, and then you're past the refund period, and you can't even get hold of anyone. That's a scam. And there's been reviews saying, great stuff, not quite what I wanted, but great stuff. So if they are real, there's a scammy element to it, or an unethical element to it. And you're preying.
You really want to learn from someone like that.
You're preying on such vulnerable people. I've seen some people putting videos in this group that I was part of who have joined for, I think it was 5 grand. And some of these videos I've watched, have been women, men, all ages, but one woman in there, for example, was saying that, you know, she only has herself to rely on. She's lost her job, and this is everything for her. She's putting everything into this, and I'm thinking, I really hope the guy that we've been watching looks after her. And I've actually taken a note of her name, and I'm going to check in a while. You know, like, I'm really concerned for her. And I think that this one that I was watching, I'm not going to go into names on this video, but he was the best out of all of them in terms of that. But then when we got to this last point, it was just an hour and a half of saying, you know, you're going to get this, which is valued at $3,000. You're going to get this, which is valued at $8,000.
You
Says who, right? And then but you get it for $5,000. It's all the same, you know, manipulation, marketing tactics or schemes. And $5,000, I don't know why. You're going to get the same amount of money. If you're delivering what you say you're going to deliver, let people do it on a better payment plan. They had one payment plan on this, but then by doing the 3 payments, you pay $2,000 extra. Like, you know, it's wrong. You know, if we offer our services, you should be confident and ethical in your services to the point where you can say, okay, spread that over a year, 2 years, and you can stop it at any point. It's a subscription.
Yeah, I mean, because the other side of that, isn't there? If we put our feet in the shoes of somebody that's running a business, like, let's forget the online bit for the moment. When I do singing lessons, I offer a bulk buy because that means that I've got guaranteed
Yeah,
things
I understand
in
that.
the diary, and a bit of upfront money, which is great. And there was one client I had where that didn't work quite so well because they then kept cancelling.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, you've gone past the point. I can't give you this money back now. It's kind of like she did end up having all of the lessons, but it took 6 months, and I kind of expected it to take a month.
Yeah.
So that you can understand, can't you, how some people might like to have up front, or, you know, this is a good way to manage cash flow. But I think there's definitely some new thinking out there about how to hook people in on a marketing front. And what I hear when I come across these sorts of adverts as somebody who might be seen as in the knowledge business and got something to share is, you know, make $10,000 a month, have constant influx of passive income because you've done this thing and people will just take it. And I'm like, that's not ethical, because where that's appealing, because it takes a lot to, you know, business develop and get clients and that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's appealing. I've got this idea that I can sit on a beach and the money will just be coming in. There isn't a human watching whatever automation's been set up. You know, so there's all this, wow, you know, do these things, but it's not ethical. And
It's not. It's not. And there's got to be a balance there. And as you said, there's got to be a balance. Look, there is a business, and you raised a good point there. Absolutely has to be a balance. Like, you know, you have the people providing services have to manage their cash flow and their services, but there's a balance there, right?
If it's a passive service, here's the course I made 10 years ago that you can still buy for $5,000 up front. Is it? That doesn't apply. That's not like me, you know, making sure I've got all of my singing client slots filled up over the next month or so, because I'm a person in the world meeting people in the world. That somebody's on a beach somewhere taking your money without actually doing anything for you.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, there's so many different ways you can make that more ethical, such as, so you get, you know, you pay your $5,000, for example. You've obviously got access to these online training videos. Wonderful. You can probably get a lot of it. I'm not taking away from the person who has knowledge. They've probably been, that we hope they've been through it, and they're sharing with you the mistakes they made. So
they know how to teach.
Yeah. But if that's online videos, then maybe your first payment covers that, right? And then the other things that are to be delivered, you go on a subscription, because again, you've got to be proved. Yeah, you should be able to stop.
Here's the basic, and if you want more, if you want personal time with me, this is how to do it, and this is how much it costs. And, you know, you can choose not to, but you can still have the basis of the learning, because there's another thing for me around, you know, $5,000 for some people is a lot of money. For other people, it's like, for your Elon Musks out there, it's like spending a tenner.
No,
But there are a lot of people where $5,000 is what they might earn in 3 months.
it's
Five
a
grand
hell of
might
a lot of
feed
money.
their kids for a year. Do you know what I mean? It's like
It's a hell
that.
of a lot of money.
It's a lot of money for a lot of people and an inaccessible amount of money for a lot of people. So maybe it's a wonderful service that you've got, and only rich people can apply, which is
But
also really unethical.
it's unethical, and it's also what I've also found in my research across a number. I've researched about 15 similar real estate ones, accounting, bookkeeping, all these different ones. And what I've found with the majority of them as well is that once you've paid this, what I've got from a lot of the reviews, and I've looked at reviews in so many different places, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're all right. Some of them were like, look, mate, you can't expect the world. You didn't make your millions. It's not their fault, right? So I am unbiased as possible. But what I have found as well is that then when they're in that portal or in that mentorship program, there's other things that they're trying to sell you. So, but you can fast track even more if you do this, or this one's actually locked.
Preying on people's self-hatred, really, isn't it? You're not good enough, but I can make you good enough.
Yes.
So I'm going to prey on that thing rather than, because the other side of this that's unethical, and this is maybe on the side of the business, is you can spend $5,000 on a product and not really do it and not change your life at all. So in the advert say, I know how to change your life with this thing, whatever the thing is. I know how to change your life. Actually, no one can change your life for you, only you can. So okay, I'm going to spend this amount of money, and I've got myself the time, I've got myself the headspace, I'm actually going to do the learning, and I'm going to change my life with the help of this knowledge, rather than this person's going to fix me. And actually, a lot of that marketing is about, I'm going to fix you. Give me $5,000, I'll fix you. And actually, personal responsibility is everything. If you're not going to then go and do that work, that practice, that learning, taking those actions, doing whatever it is, then nothing's going to change. You just spent $5,000 on a course that hasn't done anything for you.
And the research I've done on these real estate ones were that some of them looked like a fantastic network of women, of men. There were women ones, there were, all gender ones that looked really, encouraging, which is wonderful and all of that. But what I found with the reviews as well is where the people have gone wrong on their first deal and lost a lot of money. The comeback from that organisation has been, well, you've got to do your own due diligence, which I get that, right? But if you're asking someone to pay 10, 20 grand to be part of this, then that support system should bloody be there.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah. We understand this is your first time, so here's some
shouldn't let people
pointers.
lose money. You shouldn't. And there are ways of stopping that in a real estate deal. There are definitely ways of making sure that the members of your program do not get caught in that. There are 100% ways of doing that, not allowing them to go into that.
And I mean the overall way of doing that is by caring about the people that you're taking money from. And I'm not sure, it's a bit like what we talked about last week in terms of online dating. I'm not sure it's about care and connection so much as filling a void, making some money, making passive income. Wow, wouldn't passive income be great? I mean, we all want passive income, so we don't have to be tied to trading my time for money. But actually, how realistic truly is that? Because I'm not meaning to get too political, but capitalism is all about growth, and I think we're at capacity. So is there not a different way of doing these things? Maybe some of the services that people are offering, it would be right to give it for free.
I couldn't agree more.
I've given free singing lessons before.
Yeah, and I just think that there's a way of making business, and being successful, and there's a way of being ethical. I mean, I know for a fact, on a couple of these ventures that the people that were running those calls have made a swift $500,000 this week.
Do you really need that much money?
Honestly, come on. Yeah, anyway, we're at time here, but I think this is a really interesting topic, and I'm going to continue to do some more research on this. So we're going to come back, although I'm getting a million text messages and emails now. It's a nightmare. I might have to change my number.
You're being spammed by all of these things you've signed up for. Don't even talk about my Gmail. It's like
No,
every now and again I go in, select all, delete, because if
that's what I'm doing. It's
it's important, they'll chase me.
It's a full-time job. If I unsubscribed and deleted everything, it would take me to 150 years old, Phoebe. But on that note, I really, really want to shout out to the listeners here, and I want to know your experiences with various different opportunities. Name them or don't name them. It's up to you, and you're allowed to do that. Tell us your experiences, good and bad, because I believe there's some good ones out there. Yeah. We really want to know about this, and we're going to talk about this again.
And sign up for $5,000 with LashBack.com. I'm joking. Thanks so much, everyone. Like, subscribe, share, get on the socials. It helps us out a lot. Take care.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.